Before the hour, before she left for parade duty down in Florida, Joan had an opportunity to talk with one of the more mysterious recording artists on the hit charts these days. Everyone thinks it's a group, but it's a single woman known simply as Enya.
This new album, Shepherd Moons, and it's called Caribbean Blue. And true to form, it is a treat for the eye as well as the ear. Interestingly, Enya has remained kind of as mysterious as her music. This is actually her first network television interview, right? So we're very, very pleased to have you here. This is not mainstream music, and this is interesting because I looked it up. Now, your last album, Watermark, has sold over 4 million copies worldwide. I think it's still, what, on the charts after, what, 148 weeks or something like that.
Yes.
The new album is #1 on the New Age charts. And critics would say that it would be unlikely that a different kind of music like that would have that much popularity and be able to sell that many records. So did that surprise you?
Oh, very much so. When you work on a project and it's very dear to you, that's the first thing, initial thoughts you have. But after you finish it, you wonder, is anybody going to listen to it? Because I was very aware that this was very different to what was happening musically. So I was thrilled.
One of the things I was most amazed about is that you play all the instruments and you do all the voices, which means it's called an overdubbing process. So, I mean, you must spend hours at the microphone dubbing so that you get that kind of a choral kind of a sound, but over and over and over and lap them.
It's a way that we've developed this sound, and there's no easy way except standing in front of a microphone for maybe 5 hours, singing the same part over and over. But it's very magical, it's very hypnotic, and I get so involved with the music that it becomes very much a part of it.
Has anyone ever kept track as to how many times you've actually laid? You have? How many times? What's
On
the
one
most?
song, 500.
500 times
Local
over?
overdubs, yeah.
Have you ever done a couple hundred and then listened to it back and said, I don't know?
Yes.
Don't tell me you pushed the erase button and start over.
To.
Interesting, though, if you do all of these yourself, that means there's not a band really behind you. So you haven't done any tours.
No.
Can it be translated? I mean, would you want to go out on tour?
Oh, yes. I was on the stage before, and it's something I miss. The direct contact with the public is something that I miss so much with this. But it's not possible to take the music as it stands because I have performed all the music and all those overdubs. But I think it's possible to take the emotions, the melodies, those feelings, and arrange it with the stage in mind.
Maybe put a big orchestra, a big orchestra behind you. You grew up in Ireland, and many have said that the Irish folk songs, that there's an influence there in your songs. Would
Very
you say
much
that?
so.
Yes? Did you realize that as you started, though, your music?
Well, I was brought up in the northwest of Ireland and in a small area called Gweedore. And I was brought up speaking Gaelic as my first language. And in this area, the Irish traditional music is very, very strong. So it plays a very strong influence in my composing.
Well, in some, correct me if I'm wrong, don't you do Gaelic and I think even Latin in some of your songs, right?
The Latin, I like to sing in Latin because of the sound. Being brought up a Catholic and singing hymns in church. And I love hymns. And this is another influence in my music.
Well, a lot of people would like to see you go out on tour, so see if you can figure out a way to do that. Right now, though, they can listen to your album. It's called Shepherd Moons. Nice to meet you. Thank you for making this your first national interview. It's nice of you. And Good Morning America continues in just a moment.